Ayo ujue na kuchukua.
Hello, God's family. Praise be to God. How are you doing? How have you been? Thank you for joining the Revived Winner on the Revived Winner channel. And today, as you can see, we're in a different location, and this is Isaiah 61 Ministries, as you can see. And this is Eldoret, in Gishu County. Remember, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's definitely about God and for the kingdom of the Lord. So let's get into today's discussion, today's topic, and most importantly, today's message from the Lord. And so our topic during this time that we have convened at Isaiah 61 in Eldoret is about the church moving on. That means the church had begun something and now the church must move on. What are we speaking about? We're speaking about the election, of course. So we prayed so hard, we fasted so hard. And I remember when the president was actually being sworn in after his win, he said he has been prayed into power because he knows what that means. Forget about the people who say it is justice that prevailed. Forget about the people who say that it was our work, it was our good campaign that made sense. Forget about all the naysayers who have come against the fact that this was prayer and fasting and that the church has contributed in a very major way to this election, to the president's win. I'm not here to speak about politics, but I'm just here to say that after the win, the church should not rest. Remember, if this government fails, then the church somehow will have failed. So, and anything that you have acquired through prayer, you must sustain it through prayer. And that's why we should be awake and we should move on as a church. And what does that mean? It is not time to ask for goodies from the government. It is not time to think that now we're in partnership with the government. It is time to also critique this government and also continue praying for it and also continue in the same spiritual spirit. Praise be to God. So this is good that we should continue and the church should move on from now. The war that was there. Sometimes when you win, you get fooled. Sometimes when you win, you tend to sigh and stop fighting and think that the war is over. Unfortunately, when you lifted so high, that is when now the war has begun. That is when now the devil is looking for all strategies left, right, and center. So as the church, there is no time to rest. That is why the church should move on. As the church, there is no time to think that we are winners and we should now rest. When Jesus was being tempted by the devil during the time of his fasting, and he was taken high on a mountain and he was shown the whole territory, and he was told, if you bow down to me, if you worship me, then I'm going to give you all this. And so when Jesus countered this, now he was told by the same devil that you should throw yourself from here and the angels will catch you. So what am I saying? The devil wants to throw you down when you're at your highest. The time that you're at the peak, that is the time your fall will be loudest. That is the time your fall will be greatest. So the church right now, as we speak, is at the peak. If you see, for example, the president called pastors and there was prayer and thanksgiving, and he asked them to go around speaking in tongues. Of course, that brought about a lot of debate and whether that should be allowed or not, but we are looking at it in the spiritual. Today we are going to speak about things in the spiritual, and in the spiritual, that means something that has never happened, that has never been done. The church has never been so included, the church has never been so recognized, and the church has never even stepped foot to go around possessing and praying in tongues and binding and losing, so it is a great step by the church, but it is also a trap that we should look out for. It is also something that we should be very cautious and careful about. That is why the church should move on. So today we are going to read the book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 13, 14, and it says, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible. And so the light here is Christ. The light here is the church. The light here is you. Everything exposed by the light becomes visible. Praise be to God.
Amen.
For it is light that makes everything visible. This is why it is said, wake up, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Wake up, O church, rise from the dead. Rise up from those sleeping cells that you have been sleeping in all this time. These ones that made you wake up when the election neared. That is when we saw the church stand up and join hands. We should not stop that. It is time to be awake. It is time to be awake, and so that this light can shine on us, so that this light can shine on Kenya, so that this light can shine on the way that we are going to walk in. Praise be to God. Because when you're sleeping, you really don't need light. You are asleep. Someone who's asleep does not use light. You do not need it at all because you're sleeping. It is good that we wake up. We're also going to look at the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 7, and the Bible says, the end of all things is near, therefore be clear-minded and self-controlled so that you can pray. Dear church, it is time for you to be clear-minded. And when I say the church, I mean you as well. You are the church. Before you join with the other congregants, before you gather together at your place of worship, you are the church first. So I'm speaking to you first. So you should be clear-minded, and then you should be self-controlled. I want to tell you this: the war is not over. Spiritual war is is a continuing journey, is a continuing thing, and so it's time to be very clear-minded, and it's time to be on our knees. Wakati unainuliwa juu, the time that you're lifted up high, it's time to go down. And when I say down, I mean going down on your knees. It's time to pray more than ever. And so when the Bible tells us that we should be self-controlled for the church, it's not time to think that because we have Ruto over there, or because we have Mama Rachel, or because we have Pastor Dorcas, it's time now to call on for harambes. It's time now to make our churches bigger. You should be self-controlled. God is not giving you this position in the spirit for you to misuse it, for you to gather and funds, for you to garner money. No, God is giving you this opportunity for you to take over spiritually. And that does not mean that it is time now to bring up excuses, to bring up things that are not even in tandem or in connection with the Lord's vision. So as the church, you should be sober-minded, clear-minded. You should know that this time, yes, we have the government. How can the church participate? How can the church make Kenya better? It is not only for your betterment. The reason as to why God has lifted the church is for the betterment of the people of Kenya, whether they are Christians or not, whether they are in the church or not. God is lifting the church for you to be able to participate, because for many years you have said that you have been locked out. For many years you have not been included. Then God is giving you a chance right now and telling you, dear church, here is a chance. Let me see what you can do. Don't misuse it. It's time to be self-controlled, be clear-minded, know the vision of the Lord, and know why God is bringing the church to the light right now. So just know when the church is painted in a bad light, we are letting God down. And so that's why we are saying church should move on. Fasting and prayer. Support the government through prayer. Support the government by criticizing. Support the government with agendas that can be good for the country, not only for the church, for every single person in the country. And so in conclusion, I'm going to read the book of Isaiah chapter 60, and the Bible says, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Praise be to God. So it is time for the church to arise and shine and show who God is. It is not time to misbehave, dear pastors. It is not time to misbehave, dear reverends, and all that hierarchy and clergy up there. It is not time to go asking for money. I have said it again, because there is that temptation to feel that now we have the government, now we are exposed to all monetary support. It is such a temptation, and you know the devil is going to use that, and he's waiting for you to use that, and so that you can be persecuted as a church. So arise and shine, and let God be seen. Let the vision of the Lord be seen. Let the church be seen in a different light. For the longest time, the church has been painted in a very bad light, because we have false pastors, we have false prophets, we have people who have dimmed the light of the church. But God is giving you another chance, dear church. Arise and shine. Arise and make God shine. Make the church shine. Make the congregation shine. Make the people come to you. The Bible tells us that we are the light to the Gentiles. Make the Gentiles come to you, and so that you can lead them to Christ. So God expects so much from you. Remember, whoever has been given so much, still much is expected. And so do not let the Lord down, or let yourselves down either. And so verse 2, we are going to read, and the Bible says, see, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples, but the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Praise be to God. See the darkness. Look around and see how much darkness has engulfed the country. Look from the social media to the mainstream media to everything that we see, even international. Gayism is so high right now. Lesbianism is so high right now. Polyandry is so high right now. And so you should know that there's a lot of darkness that you're expected to bring light to. And that's why God is telling you, arise and shine. And that's why we have said in First Peter, be self-controlled, be clear-minded, and pray. Praise be to God. So we need to pray now more than ever. It is not time to rest. After a win, it's time to also. There's a king in the Bible. I'm going to put the verse there. There's a king in the Bible who, when they were celebrating, the wall was written, and the wall said that this is the end of your tenure, this is the end of your reign, and God has rejected you. And they were in the celebration mode. So get off that celebration mode as the church, and it's time to get the armor of the Lord and get into war. Get on your knees and get to prayer. Praise be to God. And so the Bible says in verse 3, nations will come to your light and kings to the brightness of your dawn. So if you do this, if we get in prayer, if we become sober-minded, if we become clear-minded, and we get into serious prayer and spiritual warfare, then other nations will be attracted to us. Kings will be attracted to the brightness. Praise be to God. And so let us agree in one accord that it is time for the church to move on. It's time to behave better more than ever. It's time to know our position, and it's time to portray the vision of the Lord and the light of the Lord. Praise be to God. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining into the discussion and topic. And thank you for subscribing. And if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Praise be to God. So thank you. Until next time, stay blessed.